realistic. I mean, it's
technically
it can
unlikely,
happen.
But it could happen.
Right. So if you look at the AFC East, you say Buffalo's in as the division champion,
right?
And then either New England and Miami as a wild card, maybe.
Maybe. I think if New England or Miami make it, they're either the 6 or 7 seed. I don't think they would be, the 5 seed at all.
All right. AFC South. Tennessee was the number 1 overall seed a year ago. I suspect they'll be in contention again, alongside maybe Indianapolis. Those are the 2 teams vying for those spots, right?
I think Indy wins the division. They're in, and I think Tennessee's kind of like New England and Miami. They're just kind of fighting to kind of get back into the playoff mix. I don't think they'll be the 1 seed. I don't think. Not when you lose.
Well, we didn't think they were going to be last year either, too.
No, we lose a player like A.J. Brown, though. I think there's certainly a drop off there. I think Tennessee's going to struggle to make the playoffs this year.
All right, you move over to the other division in the AFC, the North, right? Which, I mean, if Deshaun can go, that Cleveland Browns team is a different team. But Cincinnati played for the Super Bowl a year ago. Baltimore's going to be rejuvenated. Hopefully, Lamar Jackson will be under a new contract. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? I mean, Pittsburgh Steelers went to the playoffs a year ago, where it was supposed to be kind of a rebuilding type of year, and Ben Roethlisberger's last year. So, I mean, there's 4 teams very capable of not only winning the division, but also being a wild card team.
I think you're going to get a situation where Baltimore gets back to the Baltimore we're used to seeing. I think they win the division. And I think Cincinnati's going to be in that mix for a wild card. I don't think Pittsburgh or Cleveland will sniff the playoffs this year.
They looked really good against the Ravens a year ago. The Cincinnati Bengals hanging 82 points on them in 2 games.
Yeah,
defense was decimated. Don't get me wrong, Lamar Jackson and his injuries, but yeah, I mean that alone right there makes it very difficult to see multiple teams out of the AFC West, and I'm talking 3 at least. We've seen it in other divisions, and it very well could be the case and will be the case because of that 7th added team. But playing against each other like that, week in, week out, I forgot to look at what the Chargers have in week 1 and 2, right? Raiders, and then at the Chiefs on Thursday night. It's Amazon's first Thursday night game, right? Because I think NBC has the first Thursday night game.
Yeah, you're right. Chargers Chiefs right out of the gate, Thursday Night Football. Wow.
Yeah. I remember when that was announced the night of the draft, I reached out to my boss at Westwood One, Howie Denneroff, and I was like, hey, I want that game. I didn't get that game. I'm just putting that out there.
I mean, let's be realistic. Chances of Chargers open 0-2.
There is a real chance. They lost to the Raiders to end the season a year ago. They have not been. Justin Herbert's had success against the Chiefs, right?
True. That's true.
Last year, their last home game against the Chiefs, Brandon Staley really made some interesting decisions, and they weren't able to execute on 4th downs and ultimately lost that game to the Chiefs, which I think cost them that playoff opportunity. So, yeah, Arrowhead on a short week, you don't have to tell anybody about what Arrowhead is like. And at night, under the lights, the whole world watching as Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit start the Amazon Prime first streaming only game that we've seen in the history.
That's a great kickoff for Al and Kirk Herbstreit and the rest of the Amazon gang. But look, even if the Chargers do open 0-2, let's say worst case scenario, they lose at home to the Raiders, they lose at Arrowhead in the first Thursday night game. They have several get-right games right in a row. They have Jacksonville, they have Houston, they have Cleveland, presumably without Deshaun Watson. Even they have Denver at home on a Sunday night. They have the Seahawks, who are going to be down, Falcons. So they have a nice stretch there where they can, even if they stumble out of the gate.
So they play the NFC. They play the NFC South. When do they
could potentially win 6 games in a row, and suddenly they're 6-2, looking really pretty.
When do they play Tampa Bay?
Do they play Tampa Bay? They don't play Tampa Bay.
Oh, so those are just kind of some off games. Atlanta and
Atlanta is probably they finished at the same slot in their division.
Yep.
So that would have been a 3rd place division game.
Okay,
I guess.
3rd place division game. Okay.